Okay, what I'd like to do here is demonstrate the pencil tool in Adobe Illustrator. So what I'm going to do is create a new document. So I'm going to click on Create New Document. At the top in the New Document dialog box, I'm going to select Print. I'm going to change the unit of measurement to inches, and I'm going to change the orientation to landscape. I'm not going to worry about the artboards or any of these other options at this point and just say create. All right, again, I'm going to be demonstrating the pencil tool. The pencil tool is located in your toolbar. You probably see the shaper tool first. This icon, if you click and hold, you can see the pencil tool. Now with the pencil tool, you have options. To get to those options, you double click the pencil tool and this dialog box opens up. You have a fidelity, accuracy slider. By default, it's going to be positioned in the middle. I've already made some adjustments, so it was at smooth. I can make the pencil, as I'm drawing, as smooth as possible. Illustrator will try to smooth out my paths, or I can make it very realistic to my hand motions. I'm going to leave it at this. By default, it's going to keep my drawing selected. It's going to close my path within 15 pixels, and I can edit my path if I'm within 6 pixels. I'll talk about these options again in a little bit. I do like to keep Fill New Pencil Strokes closed. I don't want Illustrator to add color as I'm drawing. So I'm going to say OK. So if I go in and I try to draw really a simple fish, so I'm going to click and try to draw out a really simple fish shape. You can see how bumpy my hand's being, and it is pretty bumpy, but keep in mind I've got the accuracy, the fidelity slider to accurate. I'm just going to hit my delete key and I'm going to change that setting, and I'm going to slide it to the middle here, and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to make that fish again. And as I get to the end, it's going to close my path, and you do want close paths. This little circle to the lower corner of the pencil icon lets me know, the circle lets me know I can close my path. It's going to create a complete path from point A all the way back to point A. Now the drawing was a little smoother, but it's still not as smooth as I would like it, so I'm going to hit the delete key and get rid of that fish. I'm going to do it one more time with the fidelity all the way to smooth, and I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to draw the fish again. And to the end, the circle means I can close my path. Remember, it's within 15 pixels, and that's better, much smoother. I definitely can go in and edit this path. If I get next to the path and that star disappears, that means I can redraw the path. Okay, going through and just redrawing things a little bit. I can also use the direct selection tool to actually grab these anchor points, and I can move them. I can change the handle sliders to change how that curve is created. Again, any of these paths, change these handles, and maybe I'll change this one. Can move them in, or I can adjust the handles. Okay. Now I'm going to try something a little bit different. I have a sketch on my desktop that I'm going to bring in, and I want it to be used as a template that I can draw on top of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that in by going File, Place. That sketch is on my desktop, and I'm going to choose Template. Down here I'm going to check this option and say Place. Now Illustrator brought that sketch in, and what it did is in my layer palette, if you don't have the layer palette open, you can always go Window, Layers. It brought that sketch in and it locked it so I can't accidentally move it. It also grayed it out. If I don't want to see it, simply have to click on this eye option. I do want to make sure that I'm on the first layer here because this is locked down, this particular layer. I can also change the name of this layer by double clicking it, and I call it my drawing. It's my drawing layer. Just going to move that palette out of the way. Again, the options here, I'm going to double click and bring open the options. I'm going to keep it at smooth. I'm going to keep it selected, the path as I'm drawing it. It's going to close the path within 15 pixels, and if I'm within 6 pixels of the path, I can edit the path. So I'm going to say, okay, I like those options. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start drawing the whale. If your hand gets tired, okay, you can stop. You can go back to the end of the path. You get that little line in the lower right-hand corner, which is a visual indicator to you that you can continue making that path. Oh, I didn't do that one very well, but I can edit it later. Or actually I could undo. It's either or. Again, going back to the end of that path, following along this fin. Again, if your hand gets tired, you can let go. And if you're within range here, you can continue the path if you see that little slash at the end of my icon, my pencil icon. See the little slash, so I can continue. I'm trying to move my mouse a little bit over as I'm doing this. A little bit shaky there. And I can come up, and if I'm within 15 pixels, I get that little circle, and that means Illustrator will close that path for me. Now, what I can do is I can change these lines if I'm within 6 pixels. Again, that's in my options. The star disappears, and I can swipe along this line, and I can adjust it. Maybe I'll adjust this one here. Smooth those out, or I can go to my direct selection tool, select the anchor point. I can move it, or I can change these Bezier curves. Select that one, maybe make an adjustment there. I can also go to my smooth tool, which is in my toolbar under the pencil, and I could use that to swipe across those paths, and Illustrator will do its best to smooth out those paths for me. Although it's not too bad. Again, I'm going to adjust this one a little bit, bring that anchor point a little bit over, maybe adjust this handle a little bit. All right, not bad. I mean, it's not exactly the same as my sketch, but it's not bad. Now, if I continue drawing, I have to decide, do I really want to use the pencil tool for the eye? I don't think so. I've got a better tool to do that. I'm going to use the ellipse tool. Okay, so I'm going to click, pull, hold down my shift key to create a circle for the eye. Move that into place a little bit, use my arrow keys on my keyboard to move it over. Next thing I'm going to do is these kind of water lines here. Again, my pencil tool, and I'm going to swipe across this line, my pencil tool. Okay, not bad. I'll do the other line as well. Okay. It's not exactly the same as my drawing, but it's smooth and it's approximately the shape that I want. Now I will use the pencil tool to do the mouth. I like to start up at the top, but you really can start anywhere you'd like. Maybe I'll start right here. Oh, pretty shaky. I do want to complete this path, so I'm going to swipe along this line that was already created and complete the path. Again, if I don't like it, I can go back and I can manipulate those points by going within 6 pixels. I could swipe along it to adjust that path. I could go to my direct selection tool and I can move points where I'd rather them be. I'm going to go to my smooth tool, smooth that path out. to zoom in at this corner here. Zoom in, zoom in. If I select that path, okay, I get this little circle here, which means I can grab it and I can round those corners. Have another one here. Sometimes it's hard to see those. You really have to zoom in, grab your direct selection tool to see those. Again, that's based on a corner. It might be the only corner that I actually have. Here's a corner. Zoom in, I'm not seeing that option. Zoom in a little bit more. I'm not seeing it. It could be that it's not, oh, there it is. It just was tucked in there. And I can smooth that out. Going to go View, Fit Artboard in Window. Once I've drawn out my shapes, I can fill them with color. I'm going to select the body of the whale here. I'm going to go up to my options here for color, and I'll select a blue. I'm going to select the mouth, and I'm going to make it white, and I'll make the eye white. Under white. Now keep in mind, if you're not seeing your objects, potentially it's behind the body. It all depends on the order that you've created your object. If, for instance, yours looks like this, like where's my mouth? You need to get the mouth, and sometimes it's best just to move the object out of the way, and then go Edit, Arrange, Bring to Front. Okay, and I can move him back. Okay, again, that is the basics of the pencil tool. Some other things you can do is certainly change your stroke width, and you could change the color of your stroke. The pencil tool.